On a night when the Whitecaps honored retired cap YP Lee, Vancouver beats Houston on goals from Kenny Miller and Jordan Harvey. 2-1 the final in Vancouver at BC Place Stadium. The Caps are now undefeated to start the Major League Soccer season. Manchester United win big at Old Trafford on a day that a plane flies over Old Trafford with a sign saying, "Wrong one, Moyes out." The title is within Liverpool's grasp as Chelsea fall and Manchester City draw Arsenal, plus a pair of Whitecaps tickets to give away on tonight's program for the April 5th match against the Colorado Rapids. All that tonight right here on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk. Good evening and welcome. This is AM 650 Radio in Vancouver. My name's Tyler Green. You can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Green FC. Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk is also available online via a webcast and live streaming at www.am650radio.com. Thank you for listening to us live or on the podcast, or thanks for watching us as well. That's also an option. Right now, Kia Vancouver has throwback pricing on all new Kias with prices like they were 15 years ago. Kia Vancouver, the power to surprise. KiaVancouver.com, 396 Southwest Marine Drive at Yukon. Vancouver Whitecaps honored YP Lee prior to the match. The veteran defender played 2 seasons with the Caps and has a very impressive resume. But how was it in Vancouver? That is tonight's Barber Poll, brought to you by anotherfinecut.com. And that Barber Poll tonight is, what, if any, is YP Lee's legacy in Vancouver? You can tweet us your thoughts with the hashtag Barber Poll on Twitter at SoccerTalk650, at Tyler Green FC. You can also tweet our contributor here on Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk, Simon Fudge, Simon Fudge 74. He'll be joining us in the next segment. You can also email us, soccertalk650 at gmail.com, or call us, 604-280-0650. The Barber Poll is brought to you by anotherfinecut.com. Get the authentic straight razor shave experience that reminds you you're alive. 3 locations, Gastown, Yaletown, and the Financial District, online at anotherfinecut.com. And yes, the Barber Poll today, what, if any, is YP Lee's legacy in Vancouver? And we'll get into it a little bit more on the starting 11 and in the second half of the show. We'll debate that issue, but we'd love to hear from you and have your thoughts. So tweet us what you think. As mentioned, there's a lot of different ways you can talk to us on the show. We gave you the Twitter, SoccerTalk650 or Tyler Green FC. But you can also check out our Facebook page and like it, facebook.com/SoccerTalkVan. We have a few announcements and contests coming up on our Facebook page coming up in the next week or so, including a very special Soccer Mom Mother's Day contest. So you have to make sure to check that out. Facebook.com/SoccerTalkVan is where it's at. Like it. We'll keep you informed if you're watching the webcast tonight, which you can at am650radio.com. And if you're not, I'll tell you. The crew here, all geared up in Umbro, courtesy of Umbro, umbro.com. It is the official sponsor of the Fantasy League. You can like our Facebook page and follow the links to sign up for that Fantasy League. There's multiple ways to win. We'll announce March's winner next week on Saturday. We basically, for the first week, it was which team has the best name. There were a lot of options with it, but we will give you what we think is the best name next week, and you'll, well, hey, we're suited up in Umbro gear. So your prize next week is some fabulous Umbro gear. Coming up in the first half of the program of Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk, contributors Simon Fudge and I will dive into the starting 11. A lot of issues to get into tonight, including all things Manchester United and David Moyes. A lot of issues with Manchester United right now. Also, can Liverpool win the title? It's within their grasp, but will they actually claim it? And which Vancouver Whitecaps player is the most entertaining? There's a lot of options. Sebastian Fernandez, he's looked good. Pedro Morales, I think, will get a lot of votes. He's his second man of the match performance tonight for the Whitecaps. Kekuta Manneh is another guy. Darren Mattocks has some lightning quick speed. Perhaps you're somebody who thinks that a guy like David Osted should be the most exciting player, making some saves. Maybe you're just partial to goalkeepers, like our executive producer, Christina Dyke. But you can let us know, always, your thoughts. You can weigh in on any topic we talk about here on the program. Your thoughts on Twitter, at SoccerTalk650, or you can give us a call, 604-280-0650. The first half of Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk is brought to you by BC Soccer, online at bcsoccer.net. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram. It's at 1BCSoccer. Participate in their weekly contests. Learn more about what's happening in soccer across the province. Also coming up in the first half of the show is BC Soccer's Executive Director, Paul Mullen. The BC Provincial Cup is on Monday. I'm very excited, actually. I get to be a part of the draw on Monday. I don't know. I think I'm going to be doing the B Cup draw, but I'm very excited. I basically, if you've ever watching the Euro draw or the FIFA World Cup draw, where they sort of pick the balls out of the bins and it corresponds to where that team is going to be playing and who they're going to be playing. Well, I'm lucky enough to get to do that on Monday night, so I'm very, very excited. But we'll discuss some of those issues involving in the BC Provincial Cup, as well as what's going on with BC Soccer to help progress the talent here in British Columbia and move them up to international levels. One of the topics that always seems to come up is whether or why isn't there enough BC players on the Canadian national teams. So we'll talk to Paul about what BC Soccer is doing to help grow those international players. In the second half of the program, we'll check in with the injury report and David Sandals from Expert Physio online at expertphysio.ca, as well as FC Edmonton head coach Colin Miller. He'll chat about his squad's preparations for the NASL season, which kicks off here in a couple of weeks. They're in Vancouver for their preseason training, as we talked to Colin at halftime at the Whitecaps game tonight. Most of the FC Edmonton players were taking in the game and experiencing what it's like to watch an MLS game. We'll also have a conversation with former Vancouver Whitecap defender YP Lee. As mentioned, the Whitecaps honored him today prior to the match. So we'll talk about his career in Vancouver, including his most memorable moment in Vancouver. And some of you have already weighed in on the poll question. Whitecaps students saying on the Barber poll today, the number of fans he brought to BC Place Stadium. Mitch J. Williams saying the YP Lee legacy, an international star could come to Vancouver on a non-designated player contract. Stuck on a sofa, saying hard to build a legacy in the tail end of a career in such a short time. Cap Central saying the best right back we've ever had. Small sample size. But just a few years, although I think they did go through about 86 right backs in that time. So too numerous to mention for the Vancouver Whitecaps and the right back position. But as mentioned, you can weigh in on the Barber poll, brought to you by Another Fine Cut. We'll also hear throughout the program from a number of Whitecaps players, including David Osted, Jordan Harvey, Darren Mattocks, head coach Carl Robinson. We'll also hear from some of the Dynamo players, including the head coach of the Houston Dynamo, Dominic Kinnear, who wasn't entirely happy with some of the questions that came his way earlier tonight. But the Whitecaps, they won 2-1 against the Houston Dynamo. We'll break down that game in a variety of ways later on in the program. We'll close out the program as we always do with the manager's rant and finish it all off with the final cut, brought to you by anotherfinecut.com. Once again, you're listening to Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk right here on AM 650 Radio in Vancouver, online, am650radio.com. My name is Tyler Green. Moyes, Liverpool, exciting Whitecaps players, and YP Lee. Kia Vancouver Soccer Talk contributor Simon Fudge and myself will debate those issues and more. The starting 11 is next.